Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome to our video. We are from Group 4. Today we are going to talk about syllabus types.
But before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Shifa Adila. My student ID number is 088.
My name is Cecilia Amanda and my student ID number is 086.
And my name is Anissa Triunyar. My student ID number is 089.
Please enjoy the video.
Here, I will talk about the place of the syllabus in language teaching and also about the 6 types of syllabus. This topic is very important because syllabus is one of the main tools that guides what we teach and how we teach it. Many teachers focus a lot on teaching method, but sometimes the actual content of what is taught, which is the main focus of the syllabus, is not given enough attention. Let us begin with the meaning of a syllabus. A syllabus is part of curriculum. The curriculum is the bigger picture. It includes the overall goals of a course or program, what students should be able to do at the end of the course, and how success will be measured. The syllabus is more specific. It tells us what content will be taught and how the lesson will be organized to reach those goals. For example, while a curriculum may state that learners will be able to communicate in English everyday situations, the syllabus will show which topic grammar, points, and vocabulary will be taught to make that happen. So we can say that the syllabus is a bridge between the curriculum and what actually happened in the classroom. It connects goals with daily lesson, ensuring that teaching is systematic and focused. It is also important to understand how syllabus relates to method. Richard and Rogers explained that method has 3 levels: approach, design, and procedures. The approach refers to the theory of language and language learning. The design includes the syllabus itself as well as objective, type of activities, and roles of teachers and learners. The procedures is what actually happened in the classroom, the techniques, the exercises, and the sequence of activities. So, the syllabus belongs to the design level. It provides the plan for what content will be taught, and it connects the approach with the actual classroom procedures. Another key factor in syllabus design is the theory of language that teachers or programs follows. According to Canale, communicative competence consists of 4 components: grammatical, sociolinguistic, discourse, and strategic competence. Canale's taxonomy of language and the components of communicative competence provide way to describe various theories of language that underlie language, teaching method, and affect syllabus design. A structural or grammatical theory assumes grammar is the most important. A functional or semantic theory assumes sociolinguistic competence is the priority. A communicative or use-based theory assumes that discourse and strategic competence are the most important. This means that our view of language, whether we see mainly grammar rules, a set of functions, or tool for communication, will influence which types of syllabus we choose. Syllabus design is also influenced by our view of learning. In the past, behaviorism was the main learning theory. This led to method like the audiolingual method, which focus on drills, repetition, and memorizing patterns. More recently, Crescent proposed that language is best acquired unconsciously through meaningful input. This approach emphasizes real communication rather than formal grammar study. So, a syllabus based on behaviorism would focus on language form and control practice, while a syllabus based on acquisition theory will focus on providing meaningful input and natural language use. We also need to consider learner differences. Learners have different goals, backgrounds, experiences, and learning styles. For example, a learner who needs English for a job at a restaurant will need different content compared to a learner who is preparing for academic study. Some learners might need very formal academic English, while others might just need conversational English for travel or work. Some may prefer visual materials, while others learn best through listening or hands-on activities. This means that syllabus designers must think carefully about what their learners need and how to help them reach communicative competence in a way that is practical, relevant, and motivating. Now that we have a clear understanding of the role of a syllabus, we can move on to examine the 6 main types of syllabi. Here, I will provide only a brief overview of each type as the next speaker will discuss them in greater detail. First, Structural syllabus focuses on grammar and form of the language. Second, notional or functional syllabus based on language functions such as apologizing, requesting, or inviting. Third, situational syllabus organized around situations like shopping, going to the doctor, or ordering food. Fourth, skill-based syllabus focuses on developing skills like listening, speaking, reading, or writing. Fifth, task-based syllabus organized around real-life tasks such as writing an email or solving a problem. And the last one is content-based syllabus. Use subject matter like science or history to teach language naturally. Most real-life courses combine two or more types because communication usually requires grammar, vocabulary, and function together. In general, these 6 types can be placed on continuum from those based mostly on form like structural to those based mostly on meaning and use like content-based. Another way to distinguish these syllabi is by looking at how much analysis is done before presenting the language to learners. In a structural syllabus, the teacher or course designer analyzes the language first, then presents it to learners who practice and internalize it. In a content-based syllabus, learners experience the language more directly with little pre-analysis. They rely on natural learning processes to acquire the language. According to Yalden 1983, there are 4 paradigms that help explain how syllabi balance form and use. First, scientific analytic. Second, formal functional. Third, structural contextual. And the last one is grammatical communicative. These paradigms help us understand how different syllabi emphasize accuracy, fluency, or a mix of both.
The structural syllabus is a classic approach to language teaching that focuses on teaching grammar and language forms step by step. It is based on the idea that mastering grammatical structures like tenses, nouns, and sentence types that helps learners build a solid foundation in the language. In the syllabus, language is broken down into parts and taught systematically from simple to complex. It usually emphasizes sentence-level grammar and morphological details. This approach provides clear rules that learners can use to produce accurate sentences and self-correct. It is familiar to teachers and useful where explicit grammar knowledge is important. However, knowing grammar doesn't always mean learners can use the language fluently. Strict ordering of the grammar points can limit their natural language use and communication. So, the structural syllabi work well for formal learning settings and serve as a base for other teaching methods that focus on meaning and communication. So, understanding the structural syllabus helps us see how grammar plays an essential role in language learning, even as we combine it with other approaches for the best results. Some approaches have their own advantages and also disadvantages. For the advantages of the structural syllabus, it teaches clear, essential grammar and vocabulary, easy to organize and sequence lessons, and widely supported by materials and testing. For disadvantages, first, focuses too much on form, not the meaning, so they are not prepared to face the real-time communication, and also limit creativity and real communication. And the last one, learners may not use a language fluently despite knowing rules. Here are some examples of structural syllabus. First, teaching grammar step by step, like simple present tense before past tense, using fill in the blank or substitution drills to practice specific grammar points. And then, introducing one structure at a time and requiring mastery before moving on. And starting lesson with tasks that raise awareness of the grammar points, and then followed by control practice and communicative activities. Focusing on sentence level grammar rules for accuracy. And the last one is this approach breaks language into small parts taught in a clear order, helping learners build a solid grammar foundation.
The notional or functional syllabus grew out of a tradition that focused on language use in a social context, influenced by linguists like Firth and Holliday. The goal was to move beyond just teaching grammar and instead focus on communicative competence, the ability to use language effectively and appropriately to achieve a purpose. The notional or functional syllabus is one of the most well-known types, but it is often misunderstood. It's best described as an approach, a general philosophy, rather than a strict step-by-step method. It is a central part of the wider movement known as communicative language teaching or CLT. This syllabus is built on two core concepts. First, notions, which are general ideas like time or quantity. Second, functions, which are our communicative purposes like inviting someone or apologizing. The key principle is that one function can have many forms. For example, to perform the function of making a suggestion, you could use different grammatical forms like let's go or how about we go. Here we see real examples of how this syllabus is organized. Instead of chapters named after grammar points, the units are organized by function. The lesson topics become practical tasks like talking about sickness, making a suggestion, or inviting someone. The structure makes the learning goals immediately communicative. This table shows the structure of a functional lesson in detail. It starts with a function like apologizing and links it to a specific situation like bumping into someone. It then provides the exact communicative expressions or phrases you would use. Finally, it clearly connects the necessary grammar and vocabulary directly to the task. A major advantage of this approach is its focus on practical language use. It directly develops a learner's functional ability, the skill to actually get things done in the new language. It treats language as a tool for communication, not just an abstract system of rules, which can be very motivating for students. However, there are some disadvantages. The syllabus can end up teaching isolated phrases or chunks of language. Because of this, students may struggle to handle longer, more natural conversation. Additionally, the skill learned for one function might not easily transfer to a new, unpracticed function, limiting a student's creativity. Now, we'll look at the situational syllabus. This approach is organized by situations or settings. The main focus is on the physical place where a conversation happens, such as a shop or a doctor's office. Historically, it has often been used to supplement traditional grammar instruction by providing a clear context for the language. In the classroom, situations are used in two main ways: to present new language and to practice it. Lessons often involve realistic scenarios, dialogues, and role plays where students act out the conversation. By providing a clear context, these situations offer what is known as comprehensible input, making the new language easier to understand. Here are some classic examples of how a situational syllabus is structured. The units are organized by a specific place or scenario. So, a chapter in a textbook may be titled at the dentist's office, on a diet, or a pet shop. All the language taught in that unit revolves around that specific context. The main advantage of this syllabus is that it provides a very clear context for learning. This is very effective for preparing learners for predictable situations such as ordering food or buying a ticket. Furthermore, these scenarios are an excellent way to teach important social and cultural information related to that specific place or event. On the other hand, there are notable disadvantages. The language learned in one place may not transfer well to new situations. It is also very difficult for textbook writers to create dialogues that sound authentic, so the language can often feel artificial or become outdated. This can cause students to simply memorize routines instead of learning to speak flexibly. Finally, how is this approach applied in the real world? It's important to know that a situational syllabus is rarely used for an entire course. It is most effective when used as a tool to introduce or practice language within another type of course. Its best use is for very specific conversation courses where the topics are highly predictable, like a course for tourist guides or hotel staff.
Now, let's move to the conclusion of our presentations. The structural syllabus focuses on grammar forms and structures.
Meanwhile, the notional or functional syllabus emphasizes language function and meaning so learners can express ideas more effectively.
The situational syllabus is organized, real or imaginary, a situation, helping students use language in meaningful contexts.
Alright, that's all from our presentations.
Thank you for your attention.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.